He promised to return. Therefore, in that day, my people shall know my name. Because I myself who speaks will be present. What is written has been fulfilled before our eyes. Those who looked at him will not be ashamed. Soon we will see his transformation. The man Christ Jesus is here.
Hello, Blessed. Today's topic is the last year of the countdown. And now, the man Christ Jesus.
Blessed with all blessing. Let's read the first letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 16. The apostle says this: take heed to yourself and to the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this, you will save both yourself and those who hear you. That's advice after we have been enlightened. The salvation of yourself begins. The salvation of your soul. Our spirits were saved and took place 2,000 years ago. Now, the enlightening is the day that you were awakened and the gift of faith was activated for you to believe the gospel. And then, from then on, Paul says, look, now you have to be careful with yourself. That's where the problem is. The problem is not elsewhere. The problem is your body. Control it so that the lame does not get out of the path. Save it. Save it of the situations. Be wise. Look how the world is. That's why it's going to be destroyed. They are in a condition like in the days of Noah, where God saw that in their heart was only evil continually. And evil is not only killing and doing bad things. Evilness is to speak the garbage that you hear people that are not renovated speaking. They do not make sense. So then, it says there that you have to take heed to yourself and to the doctrine, because the doctrine is what will regulate your growth. And it says to continue in them. This is not something that you could say, oh, let me see if I can go to church. No, you have to be constant. You have to continue in them. You have a body that from young, because children, the bad habits are there. The bad nature is there. And they start with their plotting and their schemes of trying to control things. That's why you see so many kids misbehaving and kids that don't obey their parents. And when you take them out, they embarrass you. Why? Because they did not know how to control that little body in obedience and discipline. Now, you are not a child, but you have to be careful, because that's why you've been picking up all these bad habits from young. So that's what this calling is about. I myself have to take care and be careful with myself and the doctrine. I need to be in line with what is written and take captive all thoughts to the obedience to Jesus Christ. That's what the apostle says. So then, now we have a second verse. And it's in Revelations chapter 22, verse 14. This was sent to me by Fidel Briseño. And it says, blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city. This is the city that Abraham spoke about. But outside are dogs. There are a lot of dogs. The religious dogs, the reverends, and the cardinals, and the priests, disobedient pastors. All those people will be outside, all those dogs. False apostles, pedophiles, criminals, deceivers. But outside are dogs and sorcerers. So much sorcery. Works of the flesh and sexual immoral and murderers and idolaters and whoever loves and practices a lie. Not those who practice a lie, those who love and practice a lie. So then, that's what they have called us for. The reason for your joy, what has happened to you, is that you have participated of the tree of life. You were eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil for years, and that did not make you happy. On the contrary, that continued digging you deeper. But after the gospel, the true gospel came, you started to eat of this tree, and you have seen the fruit. You have seen the feeling, the joy, the security that you have experienced. It's something marvelous to eat of this tree. Another Pauline advice, speaking about enjoying the gospel and the advice. And do not be conformed to this world. Do not be conformed to this world. You cannot be conformed to today's bad habits. It says, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. By the renewing of your mind. That's what you have to transform, your mind. And with that, you renew yourself. It says that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. When you transform yourself by this renewing of the tree of life and the knowledge of the gospel, of the uncircumcision, your thoughts change. You notice that you make good decisions. And the same people around you say, what has happened to you? I have seen a change in you, a serenity, a nonchalant, a firmness. It's that you have swallowed the anchor of life that have taught us to walk in the path of life. You have found the path of life. Not everyone finds that path. No, we are fighting the good battle of the faith, and we discipline our bodies and bring it into subjection, and we are careful with ourselves because we have an inheritance. We have a marvelous promise. So then, blessed, these advices of this last year, 2011, we are filled with promises, filled with challenges. We are in a great expectation. We have left from the boredom of religion. All religion will disappear. What will be is where the covering is. There's only one covering. Ask yourself, where is that covering? And that's where the body is dead. That's where the eagles are. That's where the covering is. That's where God is. Paul was Jewish, and he says, God's not here. Where's God? He's with the Gentiles? Well, then I go with the Gentiles. I honor my ministry. I go over there because that's where God is. I try to be zealous, and I try to help them and save them for the kingdom. But this is not of who willeth or runneth, but of God who has mercy. And God has called you. Therefore, I love you very much. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Enjoy it with your family. Be careful. The less you go out, the better. There are lots of accidents out there.
I declare my thoughts organized.
Soy la super raza, confieso su palabra.
Wow.